Welcome to 50 Plus in Montgomery County, a monthly program that is a voice for many, produced by the Commission on Aging, of which I am a community member. This show is insightful for people of all ages, and each episode takes a fresh look at important issues by spotlighting older adults in the community, representatives of services and programs, and activities of interest to older adults. My name is Katie. On this month's show, we're going to honor the life and legacy of Austin Heyman. As many of you know, Austin was the host of this show, formerly known as Seniors Today. He spent much of his time after retirement volunteering and participating in civic engagement in his local community, advocating for young people and older adults. Here to join me to begin this discussion is David Heyman and Chuck Short. How are y'all?
Hi,
Great.
Katie.
Good to see you, Katie.
Great to see you too. David, introduce us to your father.
Oh, wow. Well, 93 years of talk. Let's see. First, let me just thank you. Welcome back to the studio. It's very exciting to be here with you.
Thank you.
Thanks to Chuck and Margaret Cutler and Bob Schoenberg and Ike Leggett and Leah Bradley, all the mothers and fathers of InterAges for honoring my father today. So my dad, for those of you who knew him, was an impish character. He had a smile and a twinkle in his eye and a curiosity about everything.
Yes.
He had passions for much: nature, people, music, but the thing that stands out most about who he is, I think, to all of us, is that he was in a conversation with you. Everywhere you went, whoever you were, he had a conversation going, and he listened deeply, and he made you feel like you were important and what you said was important and mattered.
Chuck, tell us about your friend.
Friend is a great word, Katie. And I add to what David said. Thanks so much to you and to the show for what you've done for our senior population over the years. Grateful to you. Yeah, how do you describe a friend of 45 years? David did a good job of describing, but Austin and I met each other in about 1980 when he was asked by then County Executive Charlie Gilchrist to lead the first Commission on Children and Youth in Montgomery County, typical of Austin, the first. I was the first staff director, and we became fast friends back in 1980. And then we evolved as the needs of the community evolved. We did a lot for youth. The commission did a lot for child care. The commission did a lot for substance abuse treatment programs. And then Austin evolved as our population increased. And our friendship always remained the same: close, candid, and deeply profound.
Wow. David, tell us some of the earliest memories of your father.
Earliest memories. So let's see. He was an international lawyer and worked in the State Department and came to D.C. under the Kennedy administration for the Alliance for Progress to do development work. And he was assigned to go to a really hard development place called Paris, France, where he served as the United States representative at the OECD. And so my brother and I were 3, 4, 5 years old around that time. And my memories are really just going to castles and having picnics. And we would drive, my dad had bought a Volvo, and we would drive around and we would have baguettes and a thermos full of milk. And we'd run around. He'd make sure we ran around when we got out of the car so that we would behave in the museums. When we were older, we spent, my dad's, probably his sanctuary was in Maine. Those of you know him, Boothbay Harbor. He talked about it like the 8th day of creation. And we would sail. He taught me how to sail up there, and we would sail the waters and look out and talk, and we raced. And my brother and I helped him win his first trophy in his life. And then, later in life, he was a person who, as I became a young adult, a person I was in a conversation with, who I learned about the world, and I found my own passions as well.
That's very inspiring. I almost want to ask who won the races.
Well, I mean, we won. That's his first trophy. Like, my brother and I helped him. He did compete in the sailing races, not until my brother and I were crew, which is a good example of how he built teams.
But he was the captain.
He was the captain, but we crushed it when we were there. It was a lot of fun. Actually, one other memory, just say, because it perpetuates throughout today, which is Christmas was one of his favorite holidays, and it became one of ours because it was a day when the world was still. And my father valued and sought quietude, solace, places of peace.
Yes.
And Christmas was that day because the world shut down. It's the only time where we grew up where everything was quiet. And it was also about family. His mother would come down, my grandmother, and we would spend the morning with just the five of us. And then as the day got on, cousins came in, and aunts, and then great aunts, and others, and uncles. And we'd be singing around the piano, late at night. And it was just a day where the world stopped and you were with family. And
Yeah.
I remember that as well.
It's amazing. I won't ask you to sing a tune right now.
No, please don't. Don't ever ask that.
Chuck, Austin was a giant in Montgomery County. Tell us about how his work inspired you.
Well, he inspired me for 45 years. And he inspired me because, first and foremost, his deep commitment to public service. His commitment to engaging this community. He valued everyone in this community, and he had an enormous optimism and belief that the good people of Montgomery County, Maryland, could solve any of its problems if they simply worked together. That was really the substance of my career. I believe that, and I got that from my conversations with Austin. And I think that's clearly how he mentored me.
Wow. Well, we only have about 30 seconds left, but to each of you, how do you think that Austin would want to be remembered?
I think he would want to be remembered by pointing to all the others who did such good things in this county. I think he was a humble man. He put the light on others and made them better people. And he was one who believed in the goodness of people to solve problems.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I would add, and David would know this because he used this word often, he would be grateful for the opportunities to have served the people of Montgomery County.
Well, thank you both. Today we're honoring Austin Heyman. I've been talking to David Heyman, his son, and Chuck Short, his friend. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
It's an honor to record this brief tribute to Austin Heyman, may he rest in peace. I started the Beacon newspaper 37 years ago in Montgomery County, and I don't remember a time when Austin wasn't a vocal and vital advocate for older adults in the county. I first interacted with Austin when he established Interages to provide opportunities for older adults to mentor school children. That program, of course, continues to thrive today as part of JCA's Heyman Interages Center, named for Austin. I also had the pleasure of serving with him on many county boards and organizations, and Austin was always a voice for reason, but also a strong advocate to make sure good ideas were translated into practice. He was a powerful voice for improving community services on the Montgomery County Commission on Aging, and testified before the County Council to promote the Commission's recommendations. He is perhaps best known and remembered for being the first and longtime host of Seniors Today, the county TV program now known as 50 Plus in Montgomery County. I can say with absolute confidence that Austin is sorely missed, and that the county will probably never produce another individual who accomplished as much as he did in his decades working tirelessly for older residents. We'll miss you, Austin.
Hi, my name is David Engel, and I'm a past chair of the Montgomery County Commission on Aging. When becoming chair of the commission, it came with a direct line to Austin Heyman, who I'm paying tribute to today, and fitting that it is on the show where he hosted over 100 episodes. In the few years I had to get to know Austin, I learned that his passion for creating a community where older adults could thrive was unwavering. Austin was encouraging, but relentless. He mastered the sandwich routine for complimenting and then directing. He was always looking ahead, reminding us that the work is never done. He listened intently, engaged thoughtfully, and never hesitated to send an email with words of encouragement, with the nudge when he saw opportunities for improvement. I can still hear his voice saying, "We're talking about an office on aging, separating disabilities. It will happen one day. It's just a question of when." Austin was incredibly proud of his accomplishments. He founded InterAges and was passionate about intergenerational work. Austin's influence and advocacy inspired the county executive to establish a sub-cabinet of department directors focused on aging services. And let's not forget Austin's leadership in advancing the village movement, growing from just 2 villages in 2007 to over 30 today. Austin inspired the Commission on Aging to create a library liaison program and an ambassador program. As we honor Austin's memory, I can't think of a better way to pay tribute than by taking action. Now is the time for the Commission to develop a new senior agenda, pretty much his words, or perhaps a community for a lifetime agenda, again, his words, to present to the council and the county executive for approval. This would be a fitting continuation of Austin's work and a testament to his enduring legacy. Austin Heyman showed us what it means to lead with heart, listen with compassion, and act with purpose. Let's carry his vision forward and ensure that Montgomery County remains a place where people of all ages can thrive. Thank you.
Austin Heyman was my hero. I once called him the OG of all things aging in Montgomery County. He chuckled and blushed and said, oh no, but I think he was really secretly pleased. Austin was an ideas man. The very successful ambassador program being handled by the COA was Austin's idea. In that program, ambassadors go out to places where seniors gather and advise them about all of the many services the county has to offer, and then also elicits feedback to inform our advocacy. Austin also had the wonderful idea of having library liaisons. He recognized the value of the printed word and established an older adult section in every library. And the COA Library Liaison Program keeps those sections stocked with important materials. Now, unfortunately, there were a couple of items, a couple of Austin's ideas that are unfinished, and one of them was to update the senior agenda. The other was, in the future, given the way the population is going, that aging and disability department should be separated. I think that's a longer-term goal. But I'm going to use this video as a call to action to help with the update of the senior agenda in Austin's honor.
Hi, I'm David Gamsey, CEO Emeritus of the Jewish Council for the Aging. What a joy it is to talk about Austin Heyman. Austin was fighting against ageism before ageism had a name. He was an incredible advocate, thoughtful, persuasive, tactful, persistent, but most of all, strategic. I think that's what attracted him to intergenerational programs in the way that those programs did attract him. He could watch as kids and older adults came to know one another as real people rather than as stereotypes. And as he watched those kind of programs at the JCA Heyman InterAges Center and elsewhere, I could just see those wheels grinding as he recognized that that learning was going to carry from generation to generation to generation. It's in that way that Austin and his intergenerational programs and all of his advocacy work and those program participants are truly making Montgomery be a community for a lifetime.
I'm pleased to say a few words about Austin Heyman. From the mid-90s, over a 15-year period, Austin Heyman formed strategic ties with county council members Ike Leggett, Bruce Adams, Chuck Short, and others who became the county executive leaders. And these connections resulted in his efforts to heighten Montgomery County's awareness of its senior population and needs, the financing of the Rheingold Report, a study of aging in Montgomery County, valuable for future planning, the creation of Seniors Today, the formation of the Senior Summits in 2008 and 2015, the formation of Interages, which melded youth and senior interests, the Senior Fellowship Program, which brought management and expertise to senior housing, age-friendly villages, transportation, and recreation. He strengthened the influence of the Commission on Aging in formulating county policy. He kept the most prodigious files and could recall countless details of policy. And his early efforts formed the foundation for more recent new innovations, such as senior fellowships, MPDUs, villages, and age-friendly, which have enhanced senior living in Montgomery County. As an individual, Austin was reserved, a thoughtful listener, clearly conscious of his stature in the community, and never appeared without a jacket and tie. But he was a great man, and he will be missed.
Hello, my name is Michael Bruin, and I was invited to say a few words about Austin Heyman. First problem is it's difficult to say a few words about Austin. But I worked for 32 years with Montgomery County government making television shows. And for almost 20 of those years, Austin and I worked together to make a show called Seniors Today. And for a little over 20 years, Austin and I had lunch together about once a month, sometimes with his wife Barbara. And they are extraordinary memories that I hold close to my heart. I'm sure many people will talk about all of the organizations and achievements that Austin had. And I was thinking, reflecting on Austin, there were three other things that I remember that I think are maybe worth mentioning. One is he had a 25-year career with USAID, and it just speaks volumes that with his legal background and his intellect, that he chose to be with an organization. He had senior leadership positions both in the United States and in Europe with USAID, and wanting to help others and to provide services to others. I think he would be heartbroken with what's happening these days. The second thing is he was a wonderful and expressive violin player, and I don't know how often he was able to do that in public, but in his living room he was a great violin player and enjoyed playing. And the last thing that I've sort of had a wash of memory is his laughter. He had a very distinctive laugh, and I miss that laugh, and I miss the friendliness in tackling projects, whether it was senior issues, disability issues, transportation issues, the television show. You know, I had different opportunities to work with Austin, and he was always positive and upbeat and had a great laugh. He'd have his game face on in front of council and things like that, but he really was a loving and friendly and laughing soul. So thank you for this opportunity to remember my friend Austin and Barbara. I think they were extraordinary people who gave so much of their time and their talent to their sons, Stephen and David, to their friends, and certainly to the community. I think their memories will always be a blessing.
Welcome back. Today, we're honoring Austin Heyman. Joining me to continue this discussion is Marsha Pruzan and Leah Bradley. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
I'm glad you're here. Marsha, tell us how you know Austin.
I met Austin nearly 20 years ago when I joined the Commission on Aging, the county's Commission on Aging. He was on the commission. He led the communications committee, which I joined, and we just bonded. At that time, a lot of concentration for that committee was around this very television program that Austin was instrumental in starting.
Yes.
And he even honored me by letting me host it on the rare occasions when he couldn't make it. So we have a long legacy. And then he followed my career. I stayed involved with the commission, and I eventually was lucky enough to become a senior fellow, another program that he helped establish. And I managed the Age-Friendly Montgomery program.
Yes.
And he was one of the leaders of that program in the, not surprisingly, civic involvement group that helped people stay involved in the community and encourage volunteerism and action by older people.
Wow. What about you, Leah? How do you know Austin?
I met Austin when I was a high school student, and I was volunteering at InterAges, an organization that he had started in the county to connect older and younger individuals, and stayed in touch, and he became a mentor to me throughout my career.
Wow. That's a long time ago.
It is, over 30 years ago.
Leah, can you also tell us about the work that you did with him through InterAges?
Absolutely. So Austin always believed in the best in people, no matter what their age. And so I was involved with him in multiple programs, and he always had great ideas of how to expand the work and continue to think about how everyone has something really great to bring to the table. And so through InterAges, I had a lot of opportunity to work with him, to shape programs, to see him involved in programs and working directly with high school students, and just see how his work created this movement in Montgomery County and nationwide. InterAges was one of the very first intergenerational programs that was locally based in the entire country.
Wow. Let's continue that theme of a movement. And Marcia, I would like to ask you, of the work that you knew that Austin did, tell us about it and how it inspired you.
Austin did so many things. I don't know if everyone knows all of them. I'm sure I can't touch on all of the things that he started, but he was instrumental in initiating so many programs in this county that are still ingrained in the county today. I brought a list because I knew I'd forget them all. First of all, as I mentioned, I think Chuck mentioned, he started the Commission on Children and Youth. He was with the Commission on Aging, where he was very instrumental in developing a senior agenda for the commission to forge forward with. He, InterAges, of course, Senior Leadership Montgomery, which was a way of getting older people with interest and skills in getting leadership positions in the country, both as a volunteer and like me, on staff. The Vital Living Network, which was recognizing that people, many older people in this county are living vital, active lives and want to stay involved.
That's right.
And also an ambassador program, which we're doing now in the commission, to reach out to get to all over the community to tell them about programs and services, and to be sure that the libraries are fully stocked with materials of interest to older adults. So that's a lot.
That's a lot.
That's probably just a beginning.
I can imagine. Leah, now the intersection of young people and older adults and senior, how's your perspective been enhanced since you did that work with Austin?
It's been completely enhanced. It's helped shape the way that I go about my personal relationships as well as professional connections. Just working with Austin, we had that intergenerational connection in our age gap, and I just saw the way that he valued how younger people thought and considered what younger people needed, as well as really gained from his experiences. So it has shaped everything that I do, both personally and professionally.
Marcia, tell us about how you think we can keep Austin's legacy alive.
Well, I think he inspired so much in this county. I would like to say that I've stayed involved with the Commission on Aging all these years, and a number of other projects in the county. And I rarely go into a meeting where someone doesn't say, even though Austin isn't at that meeting, sadly, well, Austin would have thought we should do this, that, or the other. Austin's name is continually raised as as a beacon we should follow. So his legacy will live on forever. And I will tell you that on a personal note, Austin and I had a very wonderful friendship that evolved over the years, very, very close friendship. And I would meet him, and I would have lunch with him, and we would chat about our families and different things, art, music, whatever. But I never left there without Austin handing me a to-do list of things that I had to take care of in this county to make it a better place to live.
I would say I got to-do lists at every lunch and through email and through text.
Right.
Wow, a to-do list.
A to-do list.
A call to action, if you will.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Well, what are some final thoughts that both of you have about Austin? And Leah, we'll start with you.
Absolutely. I think part of his legacy is just showing people how they can be active and vital until their 90s. I mean, Austin showed all of us how long life can be and how enriched life can be when you're involved in your community. And I think that that's very special.
Yes.
I also can hope that everyone has the opportunity to have a mentor in their life the way that I did.
Yes.
I could echo everything you've just said. He was just a wonderful mentor and friend, and he really, really wanted to show the world the value of older people in this community and what they contribute back to the community.
Yes.
And he did that every day of his life.
Yes, he did.
Absolutely.
Yes, he did. Thank you both for joining me today.
Of course.
I really enjoyed our conversation.
Thank you, Katie.
It's been an honor to be here.
Same for me. Well, that concludes our program for today. As you can see, the voices of those 50 plus matter every day and in every way. Today, we're going to have a special closing. It'll come from Austin's grandson, Henry. But to learn more about services for seniors in Montgomery County, please visit the Montgomery County Seniors website by visiting montgomerycountymd.gov/senior or call the Senior Resource Line at 240-777-3000. And as always, thank you for watching 50 Plus in Montgomery County. Henry, tell us about your grandfather and how you'd like him to be remembered.
So yeah, my grandfather, I mean, I knew him as my grandfather. He was like an amazing person to talk to. Every weekend we would go over to his apartment and we were able to connect. We'd debrief about our weeks, tell him about the soccer games we had planned. And my brother and I had these like one-on-one dinners with him.
Yes.
This is about like once a month. But yeah, there were just these opportunities that I got to just spend time with him. And I think that he really did that with everyone. He built connections and just had this individualized feeling with each of them. And I feel like he really just meant a lot to everyone, and I felt like we meant a lot to him. So I feel like, I mean, in the last year, when we had these dinners, he asked about, he was interested in mental health, I think because of COVID.
Yes.
And just making sure we were okay, really being supportive and appreciative of just having these conversations. He really liked to learn and engage and discourse with us. But I really appreciate being here, so thank you. I think that he really was an amazing person. He started Inner Ages to like bring together the seniors and the younger generations, and I can see the importance of it. So I appreciate being here. I think that I hope to see more of the youth being able to connect.
Absolutely.
And yeah.
Well, we hope to see more of that in you, so thank you for coming.
Thank you so much for having me.